can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Teen It Up podcast. I'm your host, AC. I have Sam Sherman with me. We're talking PGA Championship, another major at Southern Hills. I'm so excited to be back with Sam talking some golf. We've had a few weeks off for ourselves. You know, I had the little baby. We had a couple really weird tournaments. I mean, Sam and I were just talking pre-podcast, last week at the AT&T, right? I guess there was a lot of players in the field, but then there's been a couple random ones in between. So we're going to start getting those podcasts out there again as we start rearing back up into form for all the good tournaments. We're going to go through a gauntlet here. But my God, Sam, we got a major on our hands. I need you to tell me and the listeners and everybody that subscribe and checks out the content at dfskarma.com and betkarma.com. I want to know about Southern Hills. I feel like I don't know enough about it. I want to know the type of golfer that fits this mold. And then we'll start getting into the podcast of the Draftkings Pricing, which is what the people want. And we'll sprinkle in the bets, of course. I know you guys need the bets and the picks.
So Tulsa, Oklahoma, I only say that where it is because that means it's going to be hot. I honestly think it'll be akin to Bellerive, that PGA Championship in 2018 when Brooks won, when Tiger made that run when it was hotter than hell. This course is, from the looks of it, it seems like I and a lot of people think the same. It's going to be super tough. It's so long. I think it'll play, obviously, scorecards are what they are. They change tee box all the time, but it'll play, I think, somewhere between like 73 to 7,500 yards. And one thing I'll say is, any quote unquote course history or, Southern Hills stuff doesn't really apply because back when it was played in 2007 when Tiger won, it's been completely changed a ton by Gil Hans, the guy who redesigns a lot of courses. And so he's moved stuff around. It's really long. It's, the fairways are wide and the rough is not that long, but I think what most people may not realize, and I only know this because I'm a loser who was going over the course, hole by hole flyovers, is there is a lot of trouble off the tee that I think is not even really you don't really realize, where you can't really spring because of these small creeks that go up and along, basically 15 of 18 of the holes, and there's just a lot of trouble. And there's just not really, from what I see at least, there's no birdie holes. It's all just right. Looks difficult. And the par fives are over 600 yards, so they're not gettable in two. I think there's 5 par fives or 5 par fours over 450 yards. And then the par threes, 3 of the 4 are 220 plus. So we have this conversation all the time with majors about how can the guys who don't hit as long compete. Yeah, there will be guys who do well, they don't hit it far, but there's definitely, it seems like, an edge to guys who hit it pretty far, and you just need an all-around game. You can't with any major. I just think this PGA used to be such a score fest, but I just don't see it being a birdie fest whatsoever this week. I think it's going to be a single-digit winner.
Yeah, something that rolled off your tongue without you saying it that kind of reminds me of Erin Hills a few years ago. I don't remember the year, but I'll never forget that I kind of coached myself after the tournament. And I don't remember if I won that week in DFS or betting or whatnot, but I just remember watching that tournament on TV thinking, Anthony, when there's these big major events that are super long, super tough. And yeah, you and I come on these podcasts for years and we talk about courses like this, but let's get extreme here, right? Let's talk about the top 5 percentile. You need the best of the best. You need the long hitters. And to your point, yes, of course, there's going to be some smaller guys that'll make it through, but I'll never forget watching Erin Hills. You just needed the elite ball strikers and the guys that were going to bomb it out there at the end of the day. So that's really the angle I'll be attacking this week. And we'll kind of dive through that here in a second. You guys can see me repping my DFS Karma shirt, my logo, my Nike Dry Fit. Shout out to everybody doing hard work, not only producing content, but people behind the scenes. There's a lot of you guys, Sam included, with all the projections and the AI stuff that we're building at Bet Karma. Give dfskarma.com a check out. It's Majors Week. You can get access to our core plays, our content, our cheat sheets, which we call Final Thoughts. You can hop into our Discord channels. There's a lot of free channels, and then there's some premium stuff as well. And then, again, can't stress enough, betkarma.com. So many things kind of growing by there. Before we get into it, if you guys can, please give us a like on the YouTube channel. That definitely helps us out. And we're doing a little contest giveaway. If you can predict the winner and the score, I know that might be hard. The person that's the closest, put it in the comment section. And I can actually send you guys out one of these DFS Karma dry fits that you see me wearing right now. Sam, let's start off like we always do, DraftKings pricing. That's what the people want. We'll talk betting. We'll sprinkle it in. I kind of want to start with an interesting price point that I don't think personally, Sam, it's Monday. I don't think he's going to get talked enough about this week. But, man, 9,500 and above. Let's just start there. Well, first off, talk to me about Dustin Johnson. Why is he 9,500? I get it. There's ebbs and flows of these guys' games. But to me, that sticks out. I'm not planting my flag like I do sometimes.
It's so funny you just started with him.
I just want to start there. Like 9,500 for DJ. He's below Cam Smith. He's below. I mean, I get it. Spieth's on fire. But again, let's stay in this range. You can start with DJ. I mean, when I first saw pricing, I'm not going to lie, I just wanted to lock DJ in. I don't know if I'm going to do that with my main lineup, but he is going to be in one of my 2 GPPs that I play with this week. That I promise you, Sam.
Yeah, again, like with any major, it's hard to like really differentiate because like all these guys are good, obviously. But it's more like DJ. I just will always play because he can win anywhere. It's like I don't know why like I would not play him at low ownership. The only guy I more would like to go over like who are you playing Cam Smith and are you playing Scotty Scheffler?
Absolutely no to Cam Smith. I continue to stay this. I mean, every major week. I mean, yes, if he was cheaper, I'd consider. But no, I'm not playing Cam Smith at 9,700. If he wins, I am dead, and I'm tilting in Discord so you guys can have fun trolling me in Discord. Scotty Scheffler, yes, because you know what, Sam? He's too hot. You just can't fade this guy. And I'm not saying I'm playing him on my main lineup, guys, just for you guys that are watching. I'm saying I'm going to have exposure to Scotty. I doubt it's in my main lineup. I'm making 3 max entry this week. That's how I'm playing it, and 20 max for fun. But of my 2 GPP lineups, Scotty's going to be in one of them. Absolutely, for sure.
Really?
Yes. And I'm even considering tagging Rom with Scotty because I don't think anybody's going to do that. And there's some cheap guys.
Yeah, but dude, I thought about that. Here's the problem. My only problem with that, and I get it. I thought about the exact same thing. The problem is, and there's guys like we'll just go down for a second. The complete misprices everyone's going to go to are Adam Hadwin and Lance.
I know.
They're 63 for some reason. My only issue with that is when you start there, okay, yeah, you can go down, but then you're just going to be playing anyone who does that same thing, they're also going to be playing Lanto and Hadwin. Yeah. So that's my only – but if you didn't do that, then obviously that would be an interesting strategy. I think that it's super early in the week. Obviously, my ownership stuff is up. It's not obvious. It's going to change a lot. But if Hovland is not going to be chalked, then, like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
Hovland is made for a PGA Championship, I think. Made for it.
Yeah, and obviously the rebuttal is going to be, but his around the green game isn't very good, and he can't chip. Which I like that, though, because, again, we need some leverage. I mean, it's funny you bring him up. He was going to be one of the guys I talked about as well. He's going to be in one of my – again, we can't play everybody, but Victor Hovland absolutely will be in one of my main tournament rosters. And I'm only making 2 GPP rosters this week, like of a lot of money, right? Like I'm making 20 GPPs, but it's just going to be in the $3 and the $5 20 max entry stuff. But yeah, Victor's absolutely an elite play. He just needs to have an okay week around the green.
The last guys, I mean, he's going to be chalk. He could actually end up being the most owned potentially, but I am playing Rory.
Yeah, he's going to be the number 1 owned, unfortunately.
I mean, I get it. I mean, he is playing well. I mean, again, I just there's no really case for me to dislike any of these guys in this range except for Cam Smith. Again, I love Cam Smith. I always say people just don't respect him. He is that good. But I don't know. It's really hard with how much he sprays it off the tee. It's really hard to imagine. Like, yeah, we've seen him get up and down from literally everywhere, like at Augusta or at the Players. But I don't know. It's a tough sell with how it's kind of wild. And that's the reason I worry about a lot of guys. I mean, JT's been better, but he sprays off the tee a little bit. But like Spieth, I just saw stats today. This is like the first time Spieth's gained strokes off the tee in like 3 straight events in like 4 years. Like literally everything is clicking except the putter, which is always good. So it's like, I don't know.
And people forget Spieth was the old Brooks. Like back in the day in DFS, like it didn't matter. You don't fade Spieth in majors. And like, unfortunately, Sam and I decided to be the I don't even know how you would coin it. We were the guinea pigs. We went all in with Spieth at the Masters, and it just sucks because then he goes on. He basically wins the next 2. Let's cut it for what it is. KH Lee won. Come on. I mean, Spieth came in second, but he did. Spieth looks unbelievable, and he's going to be chalky. I mean, that's why I say DJ's not going to be owned. Like you said, Victor's not going to be owned. Morikawa is not going to be owned. And you know what? We will see.
If we get to a situation where Scotty is going to be a lot more owned than Rahm, then like I will literally go so overweight.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I mean, Rahm to me still. I anyone says about anything. Rahm's going to be the best player in the world for a long time. It's surprising how bad he's been around the green. I got to admit, like clearly not having his best 12 months, but in my opinion, Rahm's still the best player in the world. I feel like we don't need to even. I mean, we used to reiterate these things, but it's like we're nitpicking at this point in time. And I like it if he's a little depressed in ownership. Like, I mean, those are the guys. And so to summarize this top range for me, my main guys are definitely Spieth. I'm with you on Rory, but I hate the fact that he's potentially, and again, it's Monday, he's probably going to be the highest owned in this range because of the nice price point. I think it's fair. And Scotty, and then I'm definitely going to get exposure to Victor, and I'm going to have to take a look at the Rahm ownership, to your point. So,
I don't know. I'm a broken record. I mean, it was funny. I texted one of my friends. I was like, boys, Xander looks actually lost this past weekend, and he proceeded to go 25 under or something. Just like
I know.
goals.
I played him in my lineup, and I was talking shit, and he finishes 25 under.
Given that, I'm not. I will. That's going to put his ownership up by like 10%. I'm not.
Yeah, I can't believe that.
I'd much rather play Hideki, who I think could actually win. I'm pissed he went off yesterday because I liked him before that.
I know. He's going to be very high owned, Sam.
Cantlay,
Hideki's going to be very high owned.
Cantlay is maybe the most mispriced above 9,000. What are we doing? Why is he 9,100? Why is Xander always more expensive than these people? Like, Xander is worse than all of these people. Like, it's just so
Xander can't win a freaking major. I will tell you that.
A major?
That I've learned the hard way.
He can't win a no-cut event.
Are we worried about Cantlay's distance, though? I mean, or no?
No.
He's just all around so good.
He has distance. It's one of those things where you compare him to these top guys like Rahm or Scotty, who he is not as long as, but then you realize he actually still hits it pretty far. Like Spieth, honestly.
I will say, you and I both have talked about this all year. It's like, Cantlay, for what it's been worth, though, has not had his best year. I know he won the team event recently, and he did come to second to Spieth at, what was it, RBC Heritage?
Yeah.
I mean, there's that. I mean, there's Brooks. We're kind of entering the second range here, guys, obviously. Let's just talk about your friend Willie.
Well, he killed me last week. First time I played him in like a year for his first missed cut in like a year. I'll go right back. This is, once again, the putting, obviously, I knew what I signed up for. It was one of those weeks. It is what it is. Plus, it's always so annoying. It's like I obviously was giving him a pass because he was on my team, but it's like if a cut is 5 or 6 under, he's 4 under. Like, did he really play that bad, or did he just not pop off? Like, it's kind of like, those events are stupid to me.
I'm a little torn on Willie, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very torn. Like, I want to play him. Like you talked about the par 3 and then the length.
It's ownership based. It's ownership based for me. If he's gonna be the same 20% as always, then I'll probably not play him.
I mean, I just feel like there's so many guys around here that, like, why are we? And again, GPPs, you want to mix some things in, but yeah, you're right. He's going to be owned. I mean, let's talk about guys in this range that might not be as owned. I think, right?
Brooks Koepka.
I swear to God, if this guy
every time, dude.
He does it again, I'm done. I mean, honestly,
I've started the majors. I've started just playing him in one, so I don't feel as awful when he wins. Now, naturally, his lineup will be like it'll be like him who wins and like 3 guys who miss the cut, but at least I can say I was on the winner. It looks like Shane Lowry opening up is kind of like a lightning rod for ownership, which sucks. I like him too. I don't know. Apparently, Bryson's going to try to play. I don't know why, but that's ridiculous.
That's a no. And again, Neiman's going to be very chalky. Chalky.
Neiman's a tough one for me. He fits it really well. I don't know. That's one of those things where these guys are all good. If Berger's going to be lower owned, I'd much rather just go to him over Neiman. If I'm already going to play Lowry, I'm not going to play Lowry and Neiman to chalk distance range. The guy I want to ask you about, number one, obviously I'm playing Corey Connors, but are you going to play Max Homa, who just apparently wins all the time? And I'm going to. It's my fault. He's really good. It's my fault that I don't play him.
I don't know if I'm going to do it in my main lineup, but I'm having a hard time right now. I just know the old Anthony, the old AC would love to build a balanced build. I mean, I really would. Just looking at the slate, like I could get Cantlay, I could get Hideki, you could even say Willie Z. I feel like that my old brain would probably go that route. But man, I just feel like, especially this tournament, when I tried to give my Aaron Hills analogy from a few years ago, like, let's be real, Sam. A Rom, a Scotty, a Rory, a DJ. I mean, one or two, probably two of those guys are going to be in the top 5. I feel like that's the problem this week. Like, and you're going to need exposure. So this 8K range becomes extremely difficult because, yeah, we always say you need to hit the 7s, right? Which is true. We'll get to the 7K range, but people are going to neglect the 8K range. So they're going to talk on podcasts like, these are all great plays. But when it comes down to it, this range will be just mathematically neglected because people will realize that just what I said, they're going to need exposure up top. So it's just hard to get all these guys, right? So
I just want to be clear before we skip this range. I'm so aware how negative EV it is. I'm obviously going to play Tiger Woods in the lineup, but it's not a smart play. I'm just playing him out of obligation. There's no way you're playing Tiger.
He'll be in 15th place after day 1, and then he'll be in 30th, and then he'll be 42nd.
He looks better. He said he's like feeling way better, but it is hard. I mean, if he was like 72, that would actually be like an interesting decision. But
he'll be a better play at the Open, the British Open, however you guys want to call it.
Because he's winning. Yeah, I mean, Homa again. It's one of those things where sometimes with Homa, it's like it's not even like I'm actively trying to fade him. I just don't end up playing him because I like other guys, which burns me. But he has not been great, I don't think, in majors, so I'm fine if he gets chalked.
I know, but that's nitpicking, though, dude. I just feel like he's just been so.
That's why I don't play Sam Burns. Sam Burns in majors now stinks.
Yeah, I never really play Sam Burns, but Max Homa actually drives the ball really well too. I mean, it's
really good.
Kind of has all around the game. I'll tell you what, like I guess we have our first pretty big disagreements. As much as I've been a Corey Connors fan, I texted you. I think maybe it was in Discord a few weeks ago. He's from Northeast Ohio, here where I'm from, and I played his home course recently. Definitely an accuracy course. Maybe that's where he gets it from. I think I'm not full fading him, but put it like this: if Corey Connors wins or comes top 5, I'm probably fucked. I can't play everybody, and I just feel like you've brought up great points about him in the past. Like there's a lot of bunkers on this course, and it's like he's not going to have the distance angle. I just feel like
one thing. That's why I'm nervous to play Hovland. I'm not even kidding.
I mean,
the bunkers.
I see a 38th place finish or a 27th. Like, is that the worst? No, but I don't know. 8K.
That's not enough. Yeah, I mean, I have him ranked as 109th in sand saves. Not terrific.
There's just been too much Corey Connors love this year, and it's like I need to relax right now. I mean, I just feel like I can't do it here. There's a lot of guys, man.
But here's the thing. I bet you he's less owned than both Fitz and Finau at $100 less. Ooh, I'm fading both. The Fitz one I can maybe be convinced on. Finau, I have a decent reason why I'm fading.
Talk to me about Finau because you already know I never can stop playing this guy, and now he's
definitely underpriced in general. I'll give you that. However, the ball striking's been fine. My thing with him is, number one, his distance is starting to be a little bit overinflated, I think. He's not as long as everyone thinks. He's outside of the top 60 driving distance, FYI, and he just sprays. Talk about those little creeks opening up the pod. This is what I worry about with someone like Finau or like Cam Smith. These drives that don't look like they're horrendous and they're off the fairway, he's just going to be in trouble all the time. I don't know.
Finau's just so erratic, man. Like, I mean,
no, he is. And the fact that he's so cheap, he's like the normal, like Paul Casey, who was nice enough to WD at least before this week started. He's like in that price range like Kuchar used to be, and you're like, oh, you just play him, it's obvious. But I don't have a ton of interest. He could play well like he normally does when I don't play him, but I don't know. I'm not probably going to go there.
So this 7K range is mega important. I mean, talk about Matt Fitzpatrick. Everybody's going to play him. I mean, he's boring but good.
He has no distance, but like his best is on these longer courses. I think he's made for a course like this, but I don't know, dude. If he's going to be, the mega chalk 7K guy, then like obviously I'm not going to play that.
He's somebody that, like, again, I don't know if this helps anybody listening out there. I mean, maybe it won't. But I feel like he's somebody I like to like purposely not play because I already know he's going to be 25% owned. And I like rooting for guys that I know don't have the highest of upsides in the world. And Sam, let's be real. There's been plenty of times in our DFS golf career where like we all come on here and all these podcasts and content and all that and think that, oh, it's going to be 9 under, it's going to be 10 under, this is going to be 12 under tops. And it's like, oh shit, like these guys are going 18 and 19 to 20 under. Like, how did they do it? Oh, it's because they're the best players in the entire world. So I do think about things like that at times. You just got to hope for the best, I guess. Now, there is supposed to be some wind, right? I haven't looked into the weather.
Yeah, I saw there's some like gusts. It's supposed to be happening on Friday.
Which probably helps him a little bit. So anyways, I'm not full fading him only because I just wish DraftKings would put him in the mid 8s. Like make people like kind of like really wobble and think a little bit. Because the problem is he's fairly priced. Like I think it's a good price. I hate saying it, but that's why
I wish DraftKings would just put like for this week. I wish they would just put like Neiman, Homa, Connors, Fitz, and Finau at the exact same price. Make a decision.
Now there is some other guys. I mean, talk about Cam Young. He's going to be super popular, right?
I like Cam Young. Everyone does. He's a stat model stud. But if he's going to be chalk, I can't. Plus, I already want to play a chalky Keegan.
Yeah, I mean, I did think about Keegan at this course. I mean, I've talked people a long time on here. I've always liked Keegan. There's a special place in my heart for him.
If you want the guy I have the most interest in the 7K range as of right now, it's future Saudi star Jason Kokrak. Dude, the Kokrak is playing some good golf. Dude, this is like what
he's another Northeast Ohio guy, and he did surprise people at the AT&T a little bit.
His short game is a lot better than historically, like in the last year than people realize. Like his putting can always suck, but he's it's the same misconception people have with Hideki. People say Hideki has a terrible short game, which is wrong. He's a terrible putter. Actually, in the last year, he's pretty good. It's his chipping and around the green and sand stuff is great. He just sucks at putting, which is similar to Cobra. So I do like him. I can totally foresee a scenario where everyone's been obsessed with Russell Henley all year. They just play him again because he's 72.
He'll be 2% owned and he'll be in top 5. Watch.
I'm not. I think I'm going to play Matt McNeely though. These greens are small. That's Matt McNeely all day.
Huh.
71.
That's interesting. I guess I kind of overlooked him. Some guys I like. We kind of
Luke List.
Well, that's my boy, dude. I was going to talk about him. I love Luke List. I'm in my 20 lineups. I've already made 15 of them. He's in 4. I mean, I love Luke List. I know he's kind of a stat darling, but again, I just feel these are the courses I kind of feel confident for one. Not all the time, but I feel confident the guys I want this week. Some weeks it's kind of all over the place because we all know golf's volatile. Dude, give me the Luke List of the week, and let me see what happens with their putter and their chipper. At least Luke.
Play Luke List, but I'll play Gary Woodland at 73. God,
Gary's. I cannot get that guy right. I mean, I will agree that it does seem interesting.
You have to play him every. You have to play him every week, like I do when he misses the cut, and you get him right eventually. I don't know. I mean, I think the thing with the 7K range, this is so typical in a lot of majors too. It's that eventually it'll be eventually it'll just congregate around whether it be Gary or Cam Young, it'll be 4 or 5 guys, and you just can't play. In my opinion, you just can't play all of the chalk guys.
Correct.
You have to make your decision, and for me, it'll probably be Gary, unless it's super chalky, or Kokrak. I'll probably just take the risk and assume that Luke List sells putts, but. God, Sergio at 72. No one will play him because everyone hates his guts.
It's a really good play. I was going to talk about him. So in this low to mid 7K range, there's a lot of names. And Sam and I are not going to go through all of them, and we didn't on purpose. But he makes a great point. If you're going to make one cash lineup, of course, who cares, I guess, about ownerships. But definitely in the 7K range, you got to find, and again, you can find these ownership projections on our site. You got to find some guys that are projecting for 5% or even 6 or 7. I mean, that's still lower owned, but some guys that I'm kind of sprinkling in that, again, may or may not make sense are Seamus Power, Ricky Fowler, HV3. I'm sprinkling in here and there.
I was going to jokingly ask if you're playing Ricky because I am.
Yeah, I'm definitely. And again, when I'm talking 20 max entry stuff, but I will take a shot with 1 or 2 of these guys depending on how ownership. Oh, Siwoo. I've been playing Siwoo a lot this year. He didn't pan out the other week when I played him. He's just chilling there at 72. I have a really strong feeling no one's going to play him this week. I don't know why, but I feel like people are going to be off.
He's a play every week because he'll spike when no one's on him.
Yeah, but again, you got to look for these guys. I don't know, is Luke List going to be popular? I mean, maybe not, but maybe Sergio becomes a little popular. So you just got to kind of find. I mean, Gooch has been playing well all year. He's down here. I mean, you mentioned Keegan. I doubt people play him, but I think what's really interesting, I hate saying it, is the stupid 6K range. You know,
there's like four guys who Evan's going to play. I can read them off.
everyone's going to play Aaron Wise and Sebastian Munoz, correct?
Oh, God, I love Wise. I think, so maybe five. I think Munoz, Wise, I think Mito Pereira, because he just played well. He's only 67. And then super lightning rod of Lanto and Adam Hadwin.
I think I'm full fading Hadwin and Lanto, and just I'm going to let that ownership soak.
I'm definitely fading Hadwin. I was like, no, I don't know why I would play him this much.
Sorry, my phone was ringing. We almost made it through the podcast without it.
Keith Mitchell, 66. That's a little interesting.
Yeah, he'll get owned. Is there any randoms in this range? I mean, again, Hadwin and Lanto guys are going to be super owned. I would recommend not doing it personally. I mean, if anything, I have no problem with going with Wise and Munoz because they're only going to be, I say only, they'll be 10% owned, right? Plus or minus. Will it be 12? I don't know. But call it 10. That's not the worst. But I don't know.
I mean, if you want my favorite punt play, who I play in all the majors, Ryan Fox, 6,300. This dude coming in, his last 5 tournaments, he's I think it's 1st, 15th, 9th, 8th, 2nd. He crushes the ball.
Yeah, I'm just looking at these names down here, guys. Remember, it's a lot of PGA, professionals that make it onto this tournament. I mean, there's just a lot of guys that are going to be like automatic checkoffs. If you're running the optimizer, which you can access on our website, you want to check off a lot of these names that you've never seen because at the end of the day, they're basically guaranteed cuts, which makes this tournament, like I said, it's going to take a good 5 or 6 to cash. Potentially a 6 or 6 will be needed, but you're going to need at least 5 this week. Ortiz is down here at 6,600. I'm just looking for some kind of lower owned guys. Hey, our guy Lucas Glover, 6,500. I mean, he won this year, didn't he? Didn't he win in Hawaii?
No, the glove one. I think Glove's not last year.
Last year, I could see Glover. Again, all it takes is for the winning score to be 8 to 10 under. Glover get hot with his irons and make a few putts.
I keep telling people last week. I got someone actually tagging me on Twitter. Keep playing JJ Spawn. He's playing really well.
Yeah, he's had a really good year.
JJ Spawn is top 20 in the field, by the way, in driving distance.
Oh, how about this? I mean, not that we're talking too much about the 6K range. Davis Riley's here at 6,800. Are people actually going to play him? I mean, this guy's got 3 top 10s in his last 6 tournaments. It's kind of insane.
What I'd be curious is, I guess no one's going to own Cage Lee after that big win.
Right.
6,500.
What's his price point?
65.
Interesting. I'm going to have to dabble. All right, that kind of wraps up the DraftKings portion. Let's circle around to the betting streets. I haven't made any bets yet. I'll put them in the Discord chat. But, Sam, if you could give us 1 to 2 bets, one more on the, higher end, I guess, more of one of the favorites, and then one of your more darts, so to speak. Long shots.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's tough to see. Everyone has different books, but I don't have any official bets yet. I probably am going to bet Cobra at 80.
Wow.
It's kind of a longer-ish shot. And then, I don't know. I'm waiting to hopefully maybe see God, dude, I saw this morning that Brooks was 40 to 1. That's going to be a really tough, even though I can't stand him, but we know how this we know how this goes.
Yeah.
When he gets that number. But if we're talking about, I guess I'll name a third one since I just hate Brooks. But yeah, we talked about him really early in the pod. If DJ sticks at that 25, 28 number, he might be a mega bet for me.
Yeah, I'm looking at him at my book at 22 to 1. I'm just kind of hoping it gets down. It might go down. Sometimes these things go down.
Rory's odds got slammed down. I mean, and look at Cantlay's odds got hammered down. I mean, that just proves solidifies, I guess, my thought process that Cantlay just is mispriced. I mean, he's the 3rd or 4th highest betting odds. And
yeah.
He's the
that's a great call.
12th highest priced guy. Yeah. Spieth. I mean, Spieth's number to me is unbettable now. It kind of stinks.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I guess a guy that I really like for his price point, which who knows, maybe you could get better pricing. I'm not in a legal state, but I'm looking at Neiman in that sweet spot value at 35 to 1. I'm assuming you could probably get him 40 to 1 in some books.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, maybe even 45, but I got him at 35. That's definitely an auto bet for me. I am definitely going to bet Hideki at 30 to 1. I really like that price. And then
I know I saw Hideki yesterday at 45, and I was like, I'm just going to wait. Maybe that was so dumb. I should just bet it.
this is more of a chalk dart. But again, you might not be a huge DFS connoisseur. I mean, Cameron Young is 80-1. I mean, the dude has been electric. And if he just makes a few putts, this guy is winning tournaments right now. So I do think there's some merit to Cameron Young at more of a dart at 80-1. So that's all I got, Sam. What about you?
I don't mind it. Yeah, I mean, well, I'll have my official stuff. Obviously, my article will come out tomorrow. Our bets will be out. We're gonna hit a winner this week. I can just feel it.
Oh yeah, you can find our bets, I guess, publicly in our Discord chat, which you can access on the websites, dfskarma.com. Again, if you guys can give us a thumbs up, we appreciate that. Comment section, your winner and the final score. I got a dry fit DFS Karma orange and black collared golf shirt given out for the winner. So that does it. Any final thoughts here, Sam?
Yeah, let's go Tiger.
Go Tiger. Good luck this week, you guys.
I bet you Tiger comes top 20.
We'll talk to you next week. Peace out.